JT, and we are the Full Set Society. Full Set Society is a social first community for folks who appreciate a good mani-pedi, don't have that right now, but also have a strong desire to see their communities thrive, and they want to take care of themselves. Today, and only for today, I am JT, and I am live from the land of opulence, Williams-Sonoma. Get into it.
I'm Angelina, and I am live from, in my head, Paris, and I'm eating all the bougie food and spending all the money I don't have.
Hi friends, my name is Gazal, and I am live from, San Juan. I'm in Puerto Rico, and my phone don't work.
Hi y'all, I'm Sharnaija. I am currently in Greece, waiting on my cheese and wine.
Hey y'all, I'm Sydney. I am currently meditating in my future mini greenhouse in my backyard, drinking my spiked tea.
Hello y'all, I'm Ja. I am in Spain right now, in Barcelona.
Live from Barcelona. So welcome back to Enter the Chat. This past weekend, I actually got to meet Naomi Ekperigin, who actually broke down HR1 in our last episode. And in this episode, we had the opportunity to go on a friend date with none other than Naomi Ekperigin. Look for her special coming very, very soon on Netflix. But let's go on a friend date. Let's do some self-care on this friend date.
Hi.
All right. You are glowing as always. I swear, we have been talking about it internally as a team. First of all, no. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. I lied to you not. The Slack was lit last night. First of all, just because we were so excited to have you. Second of all, we were like, okay, but don't forget to ask Naomi, what's her skin regimen?
You're too kind. You're too kind. I mean, I keep it simple. Do we start with skincare? We're trying to teach people how to fix the world.
So we're trying to fix the world, but while folks are falling in, they're coming. So while we dawdle, we'll get started 60 more seconds. But while we're here, what's your how do you do what you do? How do you do this?
Yeah, so I do CeraVe is my face wash.
Yes.
That's my jam. Just simple, right?
Yeah.
And then I have days where I really had to put on makeup. Yeah. I'll use exfoliant to get it out. You know what I mean? To get the off. I feel like that's not getting clogged up, Yeah. And I really do not put lotion because I have naturally oily skin. And so, LA always, the sun is aggressive. It's bright. It's judgmental. So I will do an SPF if I'm going to be out in the torturous sun.
Yeah. Got it. Oh my gosh. And of course. Also, shout out to CeraVe. I mean, we'd love to have you as a sponsor. You are not.
CeraVe through, okay?
So, today, we have an amazing friend date that we're going on today. Wow. And it is with Naomi Ekperigin. You know Naomi from possibly Two-Toed Queens. You may know her because of Mythic Quest right now on Apple TV+. You may know Naomi because you've seen her greatness manifested in Broad City. You may have seen her greatness manifested as I did. The first time I saw you was at the Bell House here in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, yes.
Or you may know Naomi from any number of other projects, including Couples Therapy Podcast. So happy to have you today. So happy.
I'm so happy to be had. I needed this, honey. My dog got a UTI. We have been up all night. She is peeing everywhere. I said, this is the only reason I wash my face for y'all.
Oh my God. Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing we're going to do really quickly is a quick game that we like to call word association. We played it first with Molly Mitchell, who we had an opportunity to do a friend date with a little earlier this year. And so I'm going to go ahead and say a word or a phrase, and you tell me the very first thing that comes to mind when you hear that word or phrase.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm very ready.
Let's do this. So the first word phrase is hot girl summer.
Taking naps. That's my first thought.
I love this. I love that. That's all right. My hot girl summer. I'm saying that right now.
Exactly.
Okay. Next word. Mask.
Mask. Survival and fashion.
There it is.
Yes.
It is.
I'm not against it. I love, like, my thing is, like, I don't even know if I want to give up the mask, because it's like, I don't want to smell your breath. I don't need to see your face that bad. Like, I don't have to, you know what I mean? Like, in a way, it was, like, kind of helpful. The only time is, you do, like, a smile to a stranger, but they don't know.
Yes, exactly.
You know? Because you're like, oh, and, like, they can't see me. They think I'm a weird person staring at them. Exactly. But other than that, Hetty, I love a mask. Okay, somebody literally threw up in the chat maskbydebbie.com, which is my mom's mask website.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
Okay, friends. So like, but honestly, same. Like everyone who's like, I haven't had a cold all year. I'm here for it. Also though, like, full disclosure, and we talk about this, like our team is very open about mental health and other things. Like, listen, I have a little depression, a little anxiety, a little depression, fun. And so like masks have been fantastic over the last year because I don't have to think that hard about like
Exactly. It was perfect.
All right, next word, engaged.
Engaged. Bless your heart. Because I feel like whenever you say the word fiance, like, I don't like to say that word because I feel like when you say it, you're automatically prompting someone to congratulate you, and ask you questions. So that's why, I much prefer to just call my lover Jubu, and you can just decide what the dynamic is.
Yeah. I love this. Also, love y'all, ship y'all forever.
Thank you so much.
Shout out to Andy Beckerman. Okay, last phrase, and this could be controversial. I have my own thoughts. Last phrase: Harlem versus LA.
Heaven or hell?
Now,
you did it. You put them together. You put them out. Okay, and I will say, and I always say this. It's like, it does feel cliche to be a New Yorker who doesn't like Los Angeles, but it's more like, it's just in my blood. It's not even, like, I wouldn't even say, like, I don't go on tirades to LA like, oh, you're so terrible. You're just not for me. It's just not for me, this town. This town where no one walks and there's no shade. And, I mean, my God, you're lucky if you can make a friend.
Thanks.
Like in New York, you meet people, like you'll be out at something and then you can just like start talking to a person.
That's right.
You can't do that in LA.
You can trip on a person and then you know, like, we good for the next 3 to 5.
Exactly.
You heard it here first. It's been settled. There's no more debate.
It's been
what
settled.
everyone wants to know. So now we're going to do a little piece that's rapid fire story time. And so I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and you just tell us a little story, a short story, Okay. And so the first one is, this is my favorite one. It's all our favorite. Tell us about a time that somebody had you fucked up.
Okay. Like really kind of worked my nerve?
Worked your nerve.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna tell you real quick, and it's another dog situation only because that's all I have going on in my life. Now I'm gonna tell you. So the dog is getting chemo, and she's going. And one of the things chemo can do is make her nauseous. So the vet was like, if she gets really nauseous, throws up, take her, bring her back here. We'll give her fluids and medication. Great. So that happened one night. It was like a Sunday night. So we go over to the vet, but with somebody else Sunday night, they all like a different girl working a night shift. And this chick takes the dog. We waiting in the car. She calls and she's like, okay, so I just examined Mabel and I noticed her pupils are 2 different sizes, which can be an indication of an ulcer in her eye or a heart problem. I said, bitch, she already doing chemo. I ain't got time for the ulcer situation.
Damn.
It was like, as though we are not stressed out. She had me fucked up. Because then the regular doctor saw her and she was like, her eyes are fine. What? It was just like, I think that vet, she must have been new. You know what I'm saying? Or like she just graduated school and was like trying to find something.
Yeah, like man, no.
Her eyes are fine.
Layering on chronic conditions. No, we not.
I was like, you are trying to kill me. Literally on the phone, I go, come on. Because I really wanted to say bitch, but I knew that wasn't nice. And she's trying to help. I was like, what you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, she had me
Shout out to her. I hope you get the disease diagnosis that you're looking for, sis. Like, I hope you get the diagnosis of things.
I know, she wants a big one.
She wants
one. She wants
a case. She wants one.
She wants to be a house. Dr. House for animals.
Second one. When did you learn what adulting truly, truly was?
I feel like it's not even a big story as much as like the moment I realized I could just like say I was wrong without it being kind of a dramatic thing, a forced thing, without, my impulse is no longer immediately defensive, Yeah. And I feel like that made me feel like, okay, you're mature. Okay, you're seeing both sides of this.
Yeah.
And you're being honest. And so that was when I felt like, okay, I'm doing it, because I do think it's hard.
That's real. That's real. Mm-hmm. I feel that. All right, so now it's time for hot takes with hotter people.
Yeah. Oh, wow. We love it.
Okay, so I'm actually so excited to ask you this, and you probably answered it just a million times. The sex negative is a phrase you have used to describe yourself so many times. Yeah. And, at Full Set, we have fallen all in on pleasure activism. We've fallen all in on wanting to be sex positive. Except, though, the way you define sex negative is also sex positive. And so we embrace. But I want to ask you, where did that phrase first come from? And what does it mean for you? And share with people.
Yeah, I think, it comes from, obviously, a younger generation. Not that, are they a different generation? But younger people talking and using the phrase sex positive, basically to describe horny. And I am someone who... I enjoy closeness and cuddling, but the literal, I'm not craving a D. It's just not. I like it when it's there, but I don't go around, And so, but this was something I always felt a little, embarrassed by or guilty about. And there's something about just, saying out, it's I'm negative. You're also excited. You're also horny. I'm dry as a desert, and I'm fine with that. That's the thing, I'm fine with that. That's the thing, sex negative does not mean, I don't want to hear about sex, so I'm I love to hear a story. It's I'm not like that, but it's more I can take it or leave it.
Yeah. Which, why can't we own it? We should be able to own this, too. Love it.
I know. It doesn't mean I'm a Puritan. That's the thing, because I think you either are sex positive, but I feel like most people are sex positive in that you're yeah, people should get what they want consensually and have fun.
Right.
But me personally, I'll be watching TV while you're over here having a positive sexual experience.
I appreciate that so much. I really do. And we do too, just because, it's a spectrum. You don't have to do it for the people. Make sure you're doing it for you. So, love that. HR1. You recently, and we thank you so much. We cannot wait to release this. We have it's called Civics. For those of you who are joining Full Set for the first time, we have a segment called Civics is Sexy, and so you can actually go through our feed, check it out. We did a piece about the filibuster a little while back. Sometimes we get into some historical topics. We did a piece last week about Tulsa. We, as part of Civics is Sexy, are tackling, and Naomi helped us explain HR1, which is also called the For the People Act. And so for those of you who do not know, For the People Act has been in the news over the last week, most recently because over the last weekend, Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, who is from West Virginia, has said he not in support of the For the People Act. And so for folks who don't know, the For the People Act is meant to restore and help expand voting rights and voting access across the country, and so at the federal level. As you know, you remember back from social studies class a really long time ago, there's federalism, and then there's anti-federalism, there's states' rights, and then there's what happens in Congress. And so this is actually a measure to keep states from inventing new laws or laws or, around the way laws to keep folks from getting access to the vote. And so, with the split in the Senate, we really, really need everybody on board for the People Act in order to expand voting rights access. But it's looking like it may not happen.
Yeah.
We thank you. First of all, thank you so much for helping us to explain that. We cannot wait to release it. We're still going to explain it over the next few days. But was there anything that surprised you while you were recording that piece about the For the People Act or about HR 1?
Well, the For the People Act has so many common sense measures in it. This idea of, making registration easy, right? Having more people do mail-in voting even when we're not in a pandemic, having politicians have to disclose where they're getting their big donations from. Stuff like that. Huge. Right. It's like tell us, and it's just and also the extent to which I feel like we are being held hostage by this damn filibuster and these Republicans, because the fact that they see HR 1 as, quote, Democrats trying to be in control well after their tenure. It's like we are being held hostage, and we need like the political version of Liam Neeson. And right now, Joe Biden ain't it. Honey, we've been taken. I need a bitch with a special set of skills. And right now it's not happening.
Y'all, please write it down. We need the political version of Liam Neeson. And it's
taken. It's crazy. It's crazy.
You said once. I'm sorry, I'll tell on to this one. But you said once, you know how to get to Mitch McConnell. You said you would offer him some dry cubes of chicken. I said, what? As our mediator.
Oh,
as our
gummy little lips. The gummy McConnell mouth. Just slip it in there, Or hold his jaw like an animal and then toss it back.
Can you get through to the people who
I'm trying. Okay. You know who I miss? Where's Paul Ryan's crazy ass?
Girl, we don't know.
Paul Ryan cracks me up. He felt to me like a villain in a Lifetime movie. Like, Paul Ryan is the guy your mom brings home. And you're like, Mom, I don't know about Paul. And then Mom is like, shut up, Megan. I'm finally happy since your father died. And then Paul tries to kill them both. I miss that energy.
He's in like a locker room somewhere. Who knows? I only speak this way about Brother Paul because he is no longer. He's no longer. I don't know. I do not know.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. You've also been open about mental health. I heard you on Couples Therapy Pod we gotta talk about these milligrams of Sydney Wise. Fantastic comedian. Shout out to Sydney. But because you have had no problem talking about mental health, and also within the last couple of weeks, we have seen mental health take to the news because of Naomi Osaka's decision to sit out the press conference. And so literally being fined for doing so, right? But at the same time, you see measures like the Calm app saying like, okay, well, we're going to make a donation on her behalf. What do you think is the disconnect between like self-care, coach, right? And like the nitty-gritty, mental health? We really are moving towards a culture where we care about taking care.
I think self-care culture is very pretty and shiny and new. Meaning, it centers around, take a bath, take a walk, call a friend. These are all gentle, everyday things. And I think that those are great things to do all the time. But, when the house is burning down, you ain't about to take a bath. Stronger measures need to be put in place. And I think that's the stuff people still don't want to talk about. We still don't talk about, like, not just finding a therapist, but finding a psychopharmacologist. We don't just, talk about, needing to do inpatient treatment for things. Talk about needing to cut off your family because they hurt you too bad. Because that's messy. That's messy, that's dark. That's a little, too much. And I think that we got to start talking about some of that stuff too, not just the like, have you lit a candle and wrote down what you're grateful for? Because that's fine, but you know, and I think that those are the things I think you're meant to do kind of regularly so that you don't end up in the dark place. Yeah. But when you are in it, honey, it's not enough. It's not enough.
Just not enough. You're right. It's not enough candles, not enough soap. Woo! Yep. Okay, I'm gonna try to, like, because I know we running out of time. We already over time. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna get to my favorite question, and then we're gonna bring it home. I promise. It's gonna be this is a doozy, and I'm sure you probably have been in conversations around this, but two parts. Cat Williams recently was asked about cancel culture, and granted, I feel like that's like, it's such a buzz question right now to ask in particular about like, what do you think about cancel culture? And I like, we have been staying in his response, which was which was the Joe Budden a little bit, which was, you know, if you really have a problem, hi my love,
I brought her. She just pushed her way in the room. I had the door closed, and so I said, well, we gotta show her for the people after I'm talking about her.
Say hi. Love into the chat for people. Oh my goodness. Right, like, we're in this moment right now. I guess I want to ask it slightly differently, because I feel like, as a fan of comedy, it's like, when I moved to New York, the first person that I saw do stand up was Sydney Washington, actually. And shortly thereafter, I saw you. And that was like, what? We're here? We do this? And particularly in this moment where, rest in peace, Astronomy Club, though, we are in this moment where, like, Sam J is on right now. Like, Issa's about to go off with Insecure, but still, Insecure has been such a movement. A Black Women's show. Amber Ruffin, Z-Way. But do you feel like Black women are hot right now in comedy?
Well, shit, I hope so. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to get there before they get bored. Before they get bored of us, you know what I mean?
Yes. And so, like, are we at a point yet? Cancel culture be damned, or folks like fear of quote unquote cancel culture be damned. Are we at a point yet where, like, we could experiment more? Like, because everybody's great. Like, everyone's knocking it out of the park. Are we gonna get too big to fail? Is it possible? Is it possible? Could we do it? Are we on the brink, or is this like a wave that we think we'll see go away?
I would love to think that we won't see it go away, because what you have as a result of all these names you mentioned, as they rise, you know, they'll have, I mean, Issa now, right, like, has her production company and has people, so then you're going to keep bringing up that next generation, hopefully, you know? So I think that it shouldn't be as hard, but also it's like, people are finally realizing we contain multitudes, meaning we get to be different kinds of Black people. Do you know what I mean? Like, you mentioned several names and it's not all the same. And there's a time, and you know, like, growing up in the 90s, it was like, you are Black and sassy. Exactly. You know? And so it's really, you know, for me, I think I've always been the one kind of almost put myself in the, like, I'm going to be the one to talk about depression and bloat. And so just because I didn't see Black women on stage, even though, you know, the people came up, they didn't talk about it. Like, everyone was so confident, and I was like, well, is there some humor in maybe not being confident? Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, I think so though. I think so. It's our time. It's gonna happen.
Yes, you heard it here.
Oh, and in fact, anybody in New York, I will be coming through, doing shows at Littlefield, July 27th and August 1st. You gotta be vaxxed to get in. Them's the rules. And so I'm gonna be doing some stand-up, working out some stuff for a little TV taping. I'll tell you offline. I'll tell you offline.
Yes. So excited. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about that. And that's exactly perfect segue. It's so funny. Okay, last thing. Because you literally, like, your first words on Mythic Quest are like therapizing the queer girls. And I was like, there it is. Who just won't talk. Who just won't talk to each other. Just keep passing each other. And a couple therapy pod. Like, y'all, you all been together for 11 years, 10 years, 11 years?
11.
Which is like
honestly,
the new 50. I swear.
Thank you. If you count 2020, it's been 45. Correct.
Exactly. Like, how did you, one, get so good at telling people to get their shit together? And two, how did you get to this place where you know how to maintain like a relationship? Like a relationship. Not exclusive to romance, right?
Right.
Like, how did you do that?
It's so funny because I'm glad you say good at telling people to get their shit together, because I'm like, is it good? Is it harsh? But I think it's because I've done all the shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've done, you know, all the therapies and recoveries, and you know what I mean? Where I'm like, I know that language. And then I think obviously the comedian in me always wants to make someone laugh, even if I'm telling them something rude. So it's that. And then the relationship, you know, I think we just both met at a time when we were willing to do the work of a relationship. You know, because we met in New York, we were both kind of committed, we were both recommitting, or I guess first time committing ourselves to comedy, you know, saying I want to do this as a career. But also like, I like you and let's see, you know, and I'm willing to sort of roll with the punches as, you know, we both are unemployed or try to get a temp job, or I'm about to do a show Monday at 11 p.m. and I will not be able to see you. You know what I mean? It's crazy how we fit each other in. I mean, shit, he was in Greenpoint, I was in Harlem. Imagine.
It's long distance. Yeah.
That's a long distance relationship.
That's a long distance.
It truly is. It truly is.
It truly is.
So it's like, if I was willing to get over Greenpoint, the rest was gonna be easy.
Thank you so much again for being with us. Please tell everybody where to find you, where to listen to you. Shout the dates out again for New Yorkers.
Of course, hit up, I got Couples Therapy Podcast and I Love a Lifetime movie podcast where I'm watching these crazy movies and we just ripping them up. And I am, also again, yeah, I'll be in New York, Littlefield, July 27th and August 1st. Those are my shows where I'm going to have some comics. And then the rest of the time I'll be in New York and I'm going to post. I'm going to let y'all know what's up. Watch Mythic Quest if you haven't. I really enjoy yelling at people. That's like, I was like, wow, to get a part that is so my soul, which is, I can't help you. That's great.
Thank you, Naomi.
Thank you.
Such a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for visiting. All right, bye JT.
Bye, Naomi. Talk to you later.
Okay, so everyone, put your feet flat on the ground so you can feel your feet grounded, and then your palms up on your thighs. Close your eyes, and then breathe in through your nose for 10 seconds. Hold it for 2 seconds, and breathe out through your mouth for 10 seconds. And let's do that 5 times.
All right. Breathe in for 10 seconds. Hold for 2. Breathe out.
So when everyone is done, whenever they're done, this is like an extra. I don't know if this is too much I'm adding in here, but actually, it's really cool. Actually, you can sometimes feel like the energy moving through your body if you start from your feet, especially because they're grounded, and you really focus on moving like essentially your spirit through your body. You can feel it go from your feet through your legs, up your stomach, and then you like breathe out once you feel it get to your head. It's very cool.
I usually add like a little, do you ever do like the breath work of where you like make the sound, like if the noise, or like the humming and the vibrations like if you feel those here.
I like at the very end, like once you breathe out, to do a nice om and like a really long one until you have no breath left in you, and then like a namaste at the very end, and like kind of set your intentions or like send energy towards people. Okay, let's do that. Real quick. This is gonna feel so good.
I love this.
It's exciting.
When everyone has done their breath out, we can do an om together, and the whole point is to, again, feel the vibration through your chest, and it's creating energy, right? And kind of set your intentions, and for yourself or for whoever, or for a space or a group of people, and we can just say it out together, and it'll feel really good. And then we can do a namaste at the end. Okay, ready?
That was amazing.
And now for a relaxing commercial.
The U.S. track and field really turned their backs on the fastest sprinter in this country. She pointed, she Babe Ruth, and then she beat the record. And if there was THC in her system, bless, because when there's THC in my system and I try to walk, I roll my ankle. I pop a knee, I hurt myself all the time, every time. I have no hand-eye coordination. And then you add like the loss of the depth perception and the slowdown from the THC. Performance enhancing where? I'm sorry, let me say her name. Sha'Carri Richardson. Let me put some respect on Miss Richardson. She was in Oregon, where it is fully legal for any old body over the age of, I believe, 18 or 21 to consume anything with CBD and THC in it. And she did that, and the track and field and the anti-doping agency decided, nope, can't, it's too much of a risk, shut it down, you have to sit down, you can't compete.
When we think about the way that we talk about mental health now, the way that we talk about wellness now, and the way that we talk about drug use now, however you define drug use, like it gets so murky and so fraught just because of how we've been hypocrites, like legislative hypocrites, like lawmakers have been hypocrites, drug makers have been hypocrites. It's just a lot. And so for this substance, one of the least harmful substances to be persecuted in the way that it is at a time when so many people are making bank on its legalization, and so many people are still serving time for such small offenses, you know, non-violent offenses. It's ooh, child. So if you were Sha'Carri and you were her anger translator, let's rephrase that. Not if you were Sha'Carri, but if you were her anger translator. I saw the interview she gave after they announced their decision, and sis held it down because I just don't know. She was great in the interviews. She was calm and composed during the interviews. My biological mother just died. That's a lot to navigate. On top of the fact that, yes, you raggedy so-and-sos are taking this opportunity away from me on the basis of weed. I feel like the inverse of Stephen A. Smith. The weed?
of all the substances and of all the performance enhancement, if you were her anger translator, how would you have conducted yourself in the interview?
I would have rolled up.
On that note, we talked to Can-Occlusive. We love Can-Occlusive so very much. We talked to Cassia Graham at Can-Occlusive, who broke down the ins and outs of legalization and decriminalization and what that means nationwide and what it doesn't mean. And so, on that note, let's cut to the footage.
It's April 20th. 420 is here. If you're one of the adults that lives in a state where you can legally or safely partake of the weed, then congratulations.
Meet us back here next week.
See you next time.
If you want to see more Full Set and Full, like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Full Set Society.
Period.